What's up, world? It's your boy Lightning, and you have just entered the dungeon.
Yeah!
Yeah, baby, let's go!
Let's go!
Goblin Slayer. The Goblin. Goblin Slayer. I said the Goblin. Goblin Slayer. Yeah.
So, I got one more question. Boop, boop.
Well, bye.
I got one more question for the world. And for these two gents right here sitting on the side of me as well as myself.
Yep.
How do y'all feel about remakes? Game remakes.
I think they're pretty good. A lot of remakes. They're pretty good.
It depends.
It's on a case-by-case basis.
I have a love-hate relationship for it. I feel like,
It depends on how it's done.
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah, I'll talk about this one too.
especially if I already played the game, I beat it, and all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I get it that you're remaking it because you want to up the graphics and everything, but I feel like if you're going to remake it, and I already bought it, it should be free.
So, are we talking about remakes or remasters?
I think
that's
both.
a big
Okay,
difference.
my bad.
both.
I mean, I kind of fuse them,
Yeah.
but there's a difference.
There is a difference.
There's a difference,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that, let's just take Final
So-
Fantasy VII, for example. That's a remake, but it's an entirely different game.
They did a good job remaking it with that.
It's an entirely different game, and the story
It expands upon the
is
story that it already had.
actually made change. See, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a different with Final Fantasy VII. Before I even ask that question, you know what? I probably asked that question wrong. The reason why it's an entirely different situation with Final Fantasy VII is because the potential story plot and ending may actually change from the original Final Fantasy VII. You know? So that's the difference with that. What I mean when I ask this question, just to put clarification on it, is they're taking the exact same game you
Like Dark
just
Souls
played
1.
and just pretty much fixing graphics, making it more graphic.
It's the Call of
savvy.
Duty effect.
I would
Yeah.
say, yeah. Well, okay.
That's what I'm talking
Call of
about.
Duty does it all the time. Like they remastered Modern Warfare. They remastered.
They changed nothing
Oh.
about the game. They just literally upped the graphics.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about that too.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna make a good example, right? Like Mojo said, it's a case by case basis. I think a lot of times a remaster is good, but a lot of times you just mess it up horribly. A lot of PS2 games that are remastered for the PS3 were horribly done, case by case basis, because of the resolution of things. Those remasters a lot of times were not very good because a lot of times there were a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs, because it's just not matching up to the PS2 remake version of it because of the resolution and the different graphical changes they had to make to that. But also, there are a lot of times where, even for like old PS2 games, they completely remade the whole game. The Persona series, very big on that. There's a lot of different, I would just say full-on remakes of the game because they change so much stuff about the game, either gameplay or story or just graphics. They completely change it. There's a lot of kind of like I would say remakes of the games. I would say I like that a lot. But one case where the remake and the remaster was horribly bad, and actually good example because I played the first game not too long ago, Ratchet and Clank 1. They had a remake of it come out like 2017 and a movie come out. That was not a game and not a movie. The game itself is just cutscenes of the movie. And it's a horrible, everything's horrible. It's not an actual game. And it sucks. It has a completely different story, completely different everything, but reaches the same conclusion. But like, it's just not done at all.
That reminds me of a game I played recently.
I'm a big Ratchet and Clank fan. I played every single game multiple times. I've seen everything about that series. And like, it's just so mind-blowing how they can just miss the mark on the entire thing. It's incredible.
Horrible.
Horrible. It is.
What's your experience on MOJO?
I don't have a lot of experience with remasters per se. I'm about to play Dark Souls 1 remaster. The one thing I will say about remasters is I think they're good for the sole fact that it reintroduces iconic games to younger audiences. because like kids today won't know what it was like to play Elden Ring for the first time when it came out. Like, or maybe kids like 10 years from now. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, they won't know that. So 10 years from now, let's say, I'm not saying they're going to remaster Elden Ring, it's just an example I'm using, but 10 years from now, if they remaster Elden Ring, it will reintroduce one of the most iconic games of all time to a whole new audience. I think they did that with Dark Souls 1 as well.
Yes. I think the big difference, though, is that, especially for like a PS2 or PS3 game, it really helped it become all more popular when they increased the resolution and the frame rate. A frame rate going from like not even 20 FPS to 60 is game changing for a lot of people. And I got into a lot of those games because of those kind of remasters. I think those ones are really good. And you can, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. No, you good.
Yeah.
A good game that they executed very well. Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim, they executed that really well to the point where
they're still making money.
They still doing remasters.
There's too many remasters of that game.
And guess what? People still getting it.
GTA did it pretty well too.
GTA did pretty good too.
Been doing it for an entire
Well,
decade.
GTA was so popular that
Another example, Last of Us.
Oh my god, yes.
That was a pretty good
now it's getting a little too much now.
But I feel like now you're about to get my real opinion on it.
Oh, honestly? Oh.
Like when it comes to remastering stuff, I feel like instead of putting your energy into remastering an already finished product that did what it was supposed to do, because first off, how I feel is like this. See, there's emulators now. And you know what those emulators do for games that came out, and especially if you was like dynamic, you was a hit. That's what we call retro. That's what we call throwback. That's a classic.
Get on the Bakaraboy YouTube channel.
When you talking about, definitely check out Bakaraboy YouTube channel. He's retro. He plays a lot of throwback games. So if you're looking for a lot of, you know what I'm saying, old school gaming, check out Bakaraboy. That's where you want to go. But what I mean by that is, like, a lot of the games where they remastering that, not hating on it or anything, because you do have to accommodate your current, where the media is now. But what I'm saying is, I feel like instead of you putting all that energy into, you know what I'm saying, remastering something that's already done, make a sequel. Give us more. Because 10-1, you already left us on a cliffhanger with what you left us with. So now give us a sequel. I would love to see a sequel to Legend of the Legaia. You came with a sequel on Dual Saga. I really would have liked the sequel from the actual first one instead of you giving me a totally different game with Dual Saga. Give us sequels. Don't give us remasters. Give us sequels. Get creative again. Get some good fucking writers.
You know a game that did that perfectly? Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yes.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, they released the Miles Morales game, and when you bought that game, it gave you a free remastered version of the original Spider-Man game.
Exactly.
That's how remasters should work. It should work to where you expand upon the story, but also you're at the same time you can still introduce the iconic game to new audience.
And I would say a bad remake or remaster would be the new Saints Row game that came out.
I didn't play that one.
I've seen a lot of videos on that game.
I didn't even bother to play it because
I didn't even bother to watch the trailer.
I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it.
I liked it. Saints Row, was it 3?
3 was like the most popular one. Saints Row 4 is like when they go like virtual crazy superhero mode.
Saints Row had a moment where they were rivaling GTA.
They had see what happened with that.
They dropped the ball.
They number one, they waited too long for the next one, and they didn't really give us anything with the new one. You know, as far as like, what more could you do? They could have did a lot more. They could have gave a better story. Right now, I think where gaming is going for me is I need a great story. I guarantee you that GTA 6 is gonna be. I'm gonna tell you why GTA is doing what they're doing. They're getting out the box, and yes, they're definitely more mature, but they make it make sense. It's not like you're getting all the obscenities and it's just there just because, like a lot of movies doing. They're throwing in a sex scene just because that's what they think the audience wants. No! That's not all we looking for.
I mean, GTA has always been a very kind of graphic series, but that was the charm of it, though.
What we looking for is, and what you need to give us is stuff that make sense. Don't just throw stuff in there just because you think, oh, that's what the 13-year-old boy looking for. Number one, you have more adults playing video games than, well, I can't really say that ratio, but you got a lot of us playing video games.
A lot of man-children playing games.
And
Actually, I would say like
everything ain't all about, you know what I'm saying, just unnecessary. Ooh, look, they threw that in there.
our generation. Well, me and Bakaraboy's generation. Matt's generation's a little older than ours, but our generation is like we were like the first generation of like gamers, like real like gamers.
Well, next generations.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And
Because obviously you had games
now
before
we're
it.
like, now we're all grown up. Games are still getting freaking awesome. Now the vast majority of a gaming population is adults too. It used to be only kids that play games. Now it's kids, adults. Shit, we even got a 40-year-old here doing it.
We have 60-year-olds. We have 90-year-olds playing games.
So it's
It's more of a quality product thing.
Yeah.
It's not a quantity thing. If a game's good, it can bring in a lot of different people. That's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of it is. I'd say, what would be a good example of that? It's like Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty is like the most vanilla freaking game series of all time. It's a first-person shooter. You go around and you kill people, and that is a series that has gone incredibly downhill.
the reason why it's going downhill is because the gaming has evolved so much over the last couple of years, and Call of Duty has not kept up with it. They haven't kept up with it at all.
Well, but yeah. See, the whole thing they had a yearly release every single year, and
Yeah.
and with their old formula used to be they would have a modern game and they would have an old ass game from the Cold War, like the World War II, and they do a modern game,
Bro,
or a future game.
when you talk about Call of Duty, the best Call of Duty to me that I got into was Call of Duty World War II, I think.
World at War, or is it World War II?
World at War.
World at War. is
World
the
at War.
Yeah, it's World at War.
That one,
I was one of the first.
the PvE. No, PvP.
Yeah.
The PvP was phenomenal
Legendary.
to me.
Legendary.
Like, I felt like it was fun. Good.
I love
Like,
that.
I was in that game. And then I think after that, when the Modern Warfare came, then it was the Ghost. And then from there, when they got to that Advanced Warfare, they just went downhill.
Well, yeah, because the thing was before, the Future trilogy, they had the Black Ops games. So Black Ops 1 was like that average
Black Ops was really good.
older school, but also like a little bit more older school than just Modern Warfare, which was was in the 2010s. Black Ops 1 was the Cold War, and then they had Black Ops 2, which is the best fucking game of all time for Call of Duty games. But
Black Ops 2 is the shit.
it had the futuristic stuff, which eventually, with that being successful, they had to do a lot of future stuff, but it dropped the whole ball. Black Ops 2 wasn't just futuristic combat. It had the soul from Black Ops 1 and World at War, and they had all kinds of combination of things that led to that, with branching pathways and decisions that were able to do cool stuff with, and new characters and old characters. But then every other game after that was like, it's the year 2400, and we have gloves that can climb on top of buildings, and we put stems, baby, let's go! Wacky millennial fucking comedy.
Yeah, getting shot up with steroids.
I'm about to make all of us feel old right now.
Exactly, yeah.
Black Ops 2 was set in 2024.
I know.
Damn, it was set today.
It was set
Exactly.
this year.
Yes, I know, right?
That's
Dude, I just thought something, right? Fallout, the main Fallout games, right? The world ended in 2077. we're getting close to 2077 every day.
Shit, Matt will be dead.
No,
Maybe.
Matt's gonna live, bro. He's gonna live till the bombs drop, dude.
Goblin Slayer. The goblin. Goblin Slayer. I said the goblin. Goblin Slayer. Yeah.